much time? How much time? Half an hour? Let's see. Thank you. Dear friends, are you able to hear me now? Okay. So I'm going to talk on the economy and sustainable energy. Under renewable era, operational challenges. Point is working. Point. Point is not working. Point is not working. This point. Anyway, anyway, that's what. So I would like to first come this part, right? Are you able to see this one? Now, if you look back to this, the first point I have written, that is, the national economy and industrial developments are linked with energy sector such as coal, power, oil and gas. Then the second point is the availability of quality coal and oil are limited for industrial and other applications, which is well known to you all by this time. Third point is GHG emission, about which we are talking now all the times, has its adverse effects on the health and environmental at large. So these issues are picking up throughout the globe. The natural calamity is associated with environmental imbalances, which may be observed nowadays quite often as cloudburst and ocean turbulence and earthquake. And you know, at present, the entire world is moving through this unprecedented challenge. Then the next point is the production cost of industries is very closely governed by the power price as a key factor. So I will be covering all the aspects. Especially, I will come to this point very predominantly, and then the production cost of industries very closely governed by the power price as a key factor. Then the next point is emergence of new technology of solar and wind power generation and evacuation at remote load centers has been the gateway for massive industrial low-cost production, if appropriately made available in real time, depending on the requirements of industries. Hello? No, it's fine. No, it's fine. Leave it. Then, what is the sustainability in energy sector? If you look back to this slide, the first point is energy sector need to be unified for effective cost and productivity. I will talk about what is unification and what is the cost associated and productivity linked afterwards. This may require the integration of innovative technology. Once I say integration of innovative technology and solutions for green energy evacuation through the green corridor and providing open access to renewable energy in real-time power market for ensuring the cheapest power in entire country. The conference theme, what you have written, signal processing and cyber security, becomes the backbone in this particular chain, right? And once we talk about this green corridor and real-time power market, the points I would like to address That point is, whenever the renewable energy, whether it is the solar energy or wind energy or bioenergy, are produced dispersed way in the entire country or at the globe, and you might be hearing the slogan of our country, that is the one sun, one word. What is important to understand at the given point of time to all students? You know, at this time, we are having the sun, other countries, Western countries may be having the night. And therefore, once you say one sun and one word, it means wherever the power is available, and is exactly it is applicable for our country also. Because in Odisha, you have better sunshine at present. In our northern region, you may not have. In Tamil Nadu, in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, you might be having good sunshine at present. So the point of concern is, wherever you are having sufficient energy mix, whether it is solar, whether it is wind, what we require to do and what we require to understand. The point I am trying to introduce to you is, power plants may be installed, maybe solar or wind energy power plants, maybe the offshore or onshore. The concern is, once these power plants are interfaced with the national grid, what we call energy corridor, and this is known as the green corridor, right? And for your information, this green corridor is primarily high voltage DC transmission technology, HVDC technology, because we cannot carry the huge amount of power without HVDC link. And therefore, in country, it is planned to lay down approximately 100 gigawatt HVDC power transmission capacity. And therefore, what is important? The power being generated from the dispersed unit, what we call DER sources, which are nothing but solar, wind, bioenergy, at different locations in the country, in the world. These resources are not giving the exact power as per the present condition of the respective region because of irradiance, because of wind speed. So what is required in real-time monitoring system and control and power injection pattern to the grid? The biggest challenge is energy management centers. What we call, at present, we are having renewable energy management centers. Energy management centers are primarily the monitoring centers and processing centers of this power, dispersed power generation to the grid. And therefore, what is important of this point of signal processing and cyber security, because this particular each unit of the DER source, which is solar and wind, dispersed at different locations, are injecting the power and feeding to the local loads and the grid as well. And therefore, what point to understand is, all this processing is being done by the IoT as on date, Internet of Things. And therefore, the monitoring system is based on IoT. And therefore, entire signal processing, which is coming to the main control centers, which is known as dispatch centers, what we call load dispatch centers. These load dispatch centers must have the complete understanding how much power is coming in real time from the RE source. What is the existing load connected in the grid or in the locality especially? How much power is to be shared from the thermal power plants, hydro power plants, gas-based turbine plants? How much power is coming in real time from the solar, wind and bioenergy? So this scheduling of the power means, depending upon at any given point of time, the load connectivity and power availability either from the solar or wind, the remaining power has to be managed by respective thermal power and hydropower units. Maybe gas-based turbines also may be used. And at the same time, energy storage technology, which is coming very fast as on date might form the backbone of the mixed power integration. So what I'm trying to conceptualize is real-time power control is not being done in isolation without the signal processing and cyber security. Why? The reason is any communication highway is mandatory for processing the signal or the data to the respective control centers, respective load dispatch centers, respective units also where the DRs are located, and then management center, what you call renewable energy management center, is primarily managing the entire energy in the real time to make the respective loads. So what I'm trying to introduce the concept is any power deviation which is less or more than the existing load will introduce the power oscillations in the grid, in the network. And therefore, once it is going to introduce the power oscillation because of the mismatch, it will create the change in frequency. Change in frequency will create the operational problem not only to the RE, what you call distributed energy research center, but also to the thermal power plants, also to the hydropower plants, gas-based turbine plants, energy storage. So what is the concept evolving? What I've written, innovative technology which is likely to emerge, and we have to emerge with this technology, no one other will come forward. That is, we have to design the hierarchical layer of the respective controller design. It is hardware controller, software controller mix, which will try to balance the loading pattern, that is what you call power injection pattern and loading pattern in given point of time, such that we get almost acceptable voltage quality, power quality, and maintaining the current in the system depending upon the requirement of the load. That is the innovative technology, and it is very big challenge. If you look back to this next point, what I've written, I have written in this point, that point was in real-time power market. Real-time power market is only possible once the corridor is available. Suppose Orissa is upcoming with the 10,000 megawatt of solar power plant, and local loads are not connected to that 10,000 megawatt tune. You cannot inject the power to the grid, and then you are disconnected from the grid because you don't have the corridor to evacuate the power, right? So real-time power market is only going to be evolved if the transmission corridor, high capacity transmission corridor, is available nearby your state or within the state. So what will happen? Cheapest power at present, suppose you are getting 1 rupee per unit power. That power can be sold in the electricity market at 10 rupees, where energy storage devices are there, like pumped hydro, like large unitary battery storage, like NAS batteries of 10 megawatt, 100 megawatt capacity. So this cheapest power can be sold in the market for these devices, and these devices will store this power in the off-peak load and sell the power in the peak hours to the 20 rupees, 15 rupees in the market. And say, so what is happening? It is not only going to create the market for the energy, but also create balancing of the power in the peak hours. That point is very important. If you look back to the next point, I've written the observations regarding real-time power flow by grid controller, which was earlier Power System Operation Corporation of India Limited. Now it has been renamed as Grid Controller of India Limited. Public Power Grid, which is the CTU, through the transmission network by integrating green energy in the grid and ensuring its availability at remote and industrial houses, industrial, commercial organizations, has been very promising and commercially viable. Why I'm telling this point? If you can reduce the cost of the power at given point of time, you can put the control on the production cost, and once production cost is going to reduce, your overall cost of the item is going to reduce. And then country may be having much more economy in terms of the production and followed by the utilization as well. Look back to the next. The only challenge as on date has been a massive green energy integration and its evacuation at remote and load, especially under intermittency. Now the point is what? Suppose we are trying to interface the RE as a distributed energy resource in the grid. And this grid is synchronous grid. Keep in mind, we are having one nation, one grid, one frequency. Any intermittency at any given location might create perturbation in the grid, which is unacceptable. The reason is, as on date, we are going with very tight band regulation. That is 49.9 to 50.05. This is the grid code. And therefore, any 10,000 megawatt outage might create fraction of university frequency change and then maybe cumulative. Now I'm coming to the next point. It is noticed on various occasions that during intermittency, the power injection pattern is modified, which may affect the grid operations, what I was mentioning to you. Once I say grid operations affected, it means grid voltage, grid frequency might be very sensitive, which may create havoc in the grid. You are aware, we are operating synchronous grid as on date in the entire country. Any deviation, unacceptable, will introduce the problem in the grid and grid will start tripping one by one. Now the next point is, hence a very detailed system planning has to be done. Once I say detailed system planning, it starts from the ER to the Renewable Energy Management Center to the main control center as National Load Dispatch Center. Has to be done with energy storage options. In the transmission and distribution network, utilizing the benefits of large pump storage and battery storage depending upon the respective zone. So keep in mind, in near future, in the entire energy sectors, it is going to be mandatory to have the energy storage, and Government of India has made the policy for energy storage recently. Now look back to this next point. What is the innovative technology integration for effective power delivery? That is very important. You just read this line. I'm putting the line because it's far away, you cannot read. The first point is the green energy corridor with the special feature of advanced control to regulate the power flow at desired location is the need of ours. This is very big technology. One line is very big technology. Why I'm putting the point? Suppose your existing 400 kV transmission network or 765 kV transmission network has fixed capacity of, let us say, 800 megawatt or 4,000 megawatt respectively. So if the power location means generating power, either DER is added in the respective location where the substation is there, that power need to be transmitted. And therefore, what is the important point to understand? The power transmission, we are trying to primarily update the power transmission. And updating the power transmission is primarily, we are trying to make the transmission line flexible. In power engineering, what we call flexible AC transmission systems, right? So what we do, if the power is upcoming in the respective region, we don't have the much load in the respective region, we need to transmit the power to the next loading station by transmission network So we can increase the transmission capacity by the FACTS controller. So that point is the advanced control. So we'll try to utilize the controller to modify the reactance of the transmission line, and therefore the power transmission capacity is enhanced. And so in power engineering, what we say that we are trying to modify the available transfer capability, ATC of transmission line, and therefore this becomes the upcoming technology for the near future, wherever more and more RE is upcoming in different zones of the country. Then the second point is the utilities associated with the power generation and transmission distribution now have to work in unison in order to have a quality power supply at the cheapest price for industrial houses and commercial organization as well. It means, suppose your place becomes the distribution company and you can get the power from Andhra Pradesh, cheapest power on 50 paise per unit. And this distribution company can get the power in open access from Andhra Pradesh to your place at 50 paise without affecting any economy. So what is happening? At present, your cost may be 7 to 8 rupees. That time it will become 50 paise per unit. So you are going to save large money, and that money can be used for your further development of the organization or the local area or the distribution company. So the point of concern is, what is important? As on date, distribution company are not having so freedom to get the power from any corner of the state. That is decided by the regulators. That is decided by the regulators, and these regulators provide the guideline how much power can be given in open access, from which point to which point. So we have to take permission from the NLDC, National Load Dispatch Centers. Then they provide the open access to the transmission system, and finally you get the power at your end. So what modification is required by the regulators? That modification is, the distribution company must have the flexibility and permission to get the power from any corner of the country, which might facilitate the power flow and get the cheapest power to the next distribution company. So what is important to understand? In this presentation, what I have made, the point is, what are the challenges of green energy grid integration, such as solar, wind, bioenergy, and also the new emerging hydrogen energy production, which is upcoming at large scale, and storage of industrial applications, and fuel cell driven technologies, that is vehicles, to provide the green transportation, which will revolutionize the transportation of goods and manpower from anywhere. So what I've done, I am the coordinator of the hydrogen R&D, which is a group of BHEL, BRC, and BHU. So I have conceptualized how the green hydrogen and hydrogen storage can be evolved and then put in practice in Banaras University from 3 campuses. So the point I would like to mention here, the concept is, you are aware, green hydrogen mission of Government of India has been declared last year. So this mission is what? You might be hearing in the newspaper and the media, electric vehicles. Electric vehicles are driven by the foreign policy. That's to be very frank. And it requires lithium-ion battery. And lithium-ion battery is not manufactured in India. It's coming from some other country, maybe majority are coming from China and Korea. Now the concern is what? If we can devise the technology of hydrogen storage, which is being done by Tamil Nadu unit, that is hydride storage, because it requires material development. So therefore, BHEL has developed 5 kilowatt and 25 kilowatt fuel cell technology. So we are integrating, because fuel cell technology is used for hydrogen energy. So we use the fuel cell technology, which is nothing but power electronics converters. And therefore, as on date, we are having electric vehicle that is also power electronics converter. That is lithium-ion based energy. So the biggest challenge is whenever we go for large EV penetration in the country, we require the charging infrastructure which is missing in our country. At the same time, it requires a huge, energy power balance, because suppose some of the state comes up with the large EV penetration, the power drawn by the state at a given point of time once they go for EV charging is going to be multi times. And the existing transmission or distribution system corridor might not be in a position to get this power feed to the respective charging point, and that may create havoc in the distribution system and transmission or sub-transmission system. Back to this. And what is challenge there? Proper planning as on date has not been done by Government of India. You look back to any ministry, Ministry of Power and others. So what is important point here? Since the EV is not going to be the end vehicle, it is better to go for fuel cell technology development and hydrogen energy, which is indigenous. And it is green energy totally. And therefore, this is the right time to come, the researchers and the students, to have mindset to talk about the fuel cell technology development, hydrogen production. And hydrogen production is not only hydrogen, it is giving the oxygen also. Byproducts go to the hospitals. Hydrogen goes to the industries also. And therefore, hydrogen is not only going to give you the energy to the vehicle and industries, but also giving the clean environment. So this point must be noted and taken for this. One more point I would like to mention here is the goods train and passenger trains may also be driven by hydrogen and fuel cell technology. Why? Because as on date, normally good trains are being run by the electricity or diesel. If you use the fuel cell technology and hydrogen, what is the important point to understand? Why I'm putting this point is, you have the gas pipeline. We don't have the hydrogen gas pipeline because of the high pressure and other things involved. So it needs the safest transportation of the hydrogen from one place to another place. This requires good material technology development as far as the hydride storage is concerned. And once it is done, we can use cheapest solar energy to convert to hydrogen. And this hydrogen is used by the industries, used by the vehicles, used by, upcoming technologies. I can drive the substation, hydrogen-driven generators, just like gas-based turbines. So it's flexible. Suppose you are having 10 megawatt 10 megawatt substation transformer. You can keep the 10 megawatt storage of the hydrogen compatible and run the entire plant in isolation as isolated grid without any trouble and feed the local loads. There is no problem. So if the technology of storage is developed, hydrogen becomes the cheapest fuel, and as on date also, the cost of hydrogen per kg is coming, production cost is coming roughly 54 units. So if you take the 50 unit for 50 pies, it is 25 rupees per kg. So you can convert this cost, comparable cost to the existing classical power, it is very cheap. Then you can look back to the next point. The cheapest hydrogen production by electrolyzer may be possible with appropriate location of RE near available water bodies in form of floating solar power plants and wind energy system firstly, and subsequently using green energy through open access for different location of hydrogen production. So one option is, wherever you are having the water bodies, you can deploy the floating solar panel. You can use the water for converting to the hydrogen, then use this power not only for the supply to the grid, solar or wind, but also converting to hydrogen. And this hydrogen can be used for the local transportation, and that can be transported to the industries also for their in the industrial production like fertilizers. Then you can have hydrogen energy storage technology development. With hydride storage may add more flexibility of hydrogen energy, safe transportation to the industries, and also for hydrogen driven vehicles with fuel cell technology, providing the most reliable and cheapest transportation, making Indian economic growth faster. So what is important point? As on date, you know, we are getting 100 rupees almost per liter of the petrol, and these are also almost comparable. So the total cost of our life has increased. If you can reduce the cost to, let us say, 1 rupee, your cost is coming to 1/100. So it means your entire quality of life is linked with energy options. And therefore, if we can minimize the energy cost, we can optimize our quality of life and other development processes. So what is important? Thus minimizing the stress on the existing lines, feeding the electrified train corridor. So once I say, if you can put the least stress on the lines, life of the line is increased. So line which is lasting for 20 years might last for 50 years. So your investment is almost deferred. That is, money is added to your development for other societal development, right? This concept will provide the stability of the grid and least excursion to the existing assets of transmission and distribution network. What are the research objective and thrust areas? Just this point I would like to mention. Try to look into these 4 points. Research objective, trust and novelty, a way forward for new India energy sector. Number 1 point is distributed and grid level energy storage, options for 24/7 quality power supply for domestic, industrial and commercial loads. Second point is, this will ensure grid resiliency and stability, thus improving the asset of the entire power sector at large and facilitating to the maintenance cost at each layer, which may be observed as a reduced tariff. So once you reduce the total operational cost, tariff will automatically come down. Third point is smart grid technology implying voltage source converter technology, what we call VSC technology based grid interface technology, because for RE penetration and its interface, we require VSC converters. And VSC converters are ranging from 300 megawatt to 2000 megawatt capacity. So we can have the varied range. Suppose you are having the 100 megawatt solar power plant to 300 megawatt, you can use VSC converter up to 300 megawatt. If you are having a 2000 megawatt solar power plant, you can use that. So it will have asynchronous interconnection in the grid penetration. So there is no grid perturbation as such. Then intelligent automation for real-time power control with renewable energy integration may provide large power open access market, which is in turn reduce the production cost of industries, reduce cost of commercial houses. And the next point is hydrogen energy production with solar power and storage for transportation of industrial uses may encourage industries to come forward with change mindset, to have more investment in new technology and associated industrial developments for accelerating the economic growth. This project I implemented at the BESCOM Bengaluru, Chandapura division. That is smart distribution system development at Chandapura division of BESCOM for online monitoring of control and distribution feeders of demand side load management, of demand response of peak load management. So this is a functional project in the BESCOM Bengaluru. Here the consumers are having the mix, domestic, commercial, industrial, having all the single phase, three phase and meters. A showcase for asset management, because once we say smart distribution system, it means no transformer per phase loading is exceeding beyond the permissible loading pattern of the transformer. So there is no burning of transformer, no outage of transformer. So you are able to operate the system without any hurdle throughout the lifetime of the particular unit. This is the control room where it has been implemented. So green shows that communication is effectively going on. This is the 6 megawatt solar power plant put at the Banaras University, of which I am the chairman of the committee and coordinator. So I did it. So it is using the Internet of Things, IoT. So in the main campus, we are having LAN. You have connected with through RTUs, all the power plants at dispersed location, forming the cluster. And then 150 kilometers away campus has been connected with IoT, with Airtel transmission tower. Another campus around 5 kilometers also connected with IoT. So it is mix of LAN and IoT, Airtel infrastructure, which is going to give you seamless communication, real-time data flow and control. This is a screenshot primarily. This point primarily is green economy for hydrogen. You can see this is our master plan for running the hydrogen driven vehicle from next campus, that is in Mirzapur South campus, that is around 150 kilometers from Varanasi. It's fine. Then you can look back. This concept is primarily, if you look back to this first point is, hydrogen production coming from this solar power and grid. We are going to use this hydrogen for vehicle transportation from Mirzapur campus to Varanasi campus, running the hydrogen vehicles with the fuel cell technology as pilot demonstration jointly by the BHU, BHEL and BRC. What is this? The installed green hydrogen generation system would help to understand the techno-economic aspects of green hydrogen generation, then compression, storage, dispensation. Then experience of system engineering, integration, project execution, including production, compression, storage, dispensing of green hydrogen for project with end uses, experience of safety aspects and handling of hydrogen gas, future research on cost reduction of IPR. The success of this project will build confidence and lead as an example for industry and academia collaboration effort. Such collaboration are much helpful, needed in the country to address the challenges of niche and emerging technologies. Project will provide a platform for training and research on green hydrogen technology to academia and industry. The pilot project will include indigenous development systems and will provide big boost to the Atmanirbhar Bharat vision of Honorable Prime Minister. So these are the details of this particular point. I am leaving this point. You can go through the hydrogen overview. Then the objective of pilot project is to synergize the engineering R&D systems of BHEL, BHU and BRC. For information, BRC has developed the electrolyzer of 10 AM capacity, which is being now scaled up to the higher capacity by the team of chemical engineering division of BRC. BHEL has developed the fuel cell technology of 5 kilowatt and 25 kilowatt, almost completion. BHU has capacity of hydride storage. So we are mixing all the expertise and then integrating into the pilot projects for demonstration of technology. Now, this is what is written. Above mentioned end-use application would require approximately 6 kg hydrogen per day. To cater this demand of green hydrogen, BHEL proposes to set up 500 kilowatt electrolyzer system for on-site hydrogen production at South Campus Mirzapur of Banaras University. The electrolyzer system will be powered by 1 megawatt existing solar power plant which I have established in South Campus. During the day, producing green hydrogen, the green hydrogen produced will be stored and supplied for end-use application such as hydrogen bus, power backup and hydrogen cart using BHEL in-house developed fuel cell technology. The excess hydrogen can be supplied to BHEL for its research laboratories or fertilizers. So these are the details of the entire electrolyzer systems. I am leaving this one. So these are the further details of electrolyzers technology and fuel cell technology. These are the details, technical details of the entire project components. What is hydrogen energy sustainability? That point I would like to address. Hydrogen energy future for transportation sector and industrial resource for low cost production. Vehicle industries, major stakeholders for fuel cell, economy and hydrogen energy, New India Mission Program, success parameters, fuel cell technology development and hydrogen-based fuel for transportation, what I did mention earlier, distribution system management. What is very important to understand, as on date, nowhere in the world, hydrogen is being used at substation level. This may transform the substation dynamics itself. If properly integrated in the substation at the appropriate transformer power injection pattern, and the entire grid might be local grid, isolated grid. That's very big challenge, and it is very big recovery for the economy. Might. So I have written distribution system management with solar powered hydrogen production in Indian context. Because in India, suppose in village, if you are able to transport the hydrogen and solar is available, intermittency we can meet with this hydrogen locally and then Village will remain 24 into 7 energized with power, and each and everything will be energized. Industrial sector transformation with hydrogen energy storage. Hydrogen is cheapest energy after mature technology. Public demonstration through R&D. Power sector per unit price will be the most very low and with hydrogen energy. An ideal ecosystem for the health sector. I can just leave this one. I can come to this point. Fuel cell I am leaving. This point also leaving. This is the fuel cell vehicles. You can see it. You can share the PPT. I think the students can understand one. Combined heat and power fuel cell, natural gas and biogas. This is a flow diagram. Then power sector reforms. This point I will cover, and then almost we are very close. The local distribution substation may imply hydrogen energy storage integration for demand side management, what I was speaking, and this will enhance the entire asset life and quality power to the consumers. The present distribution system is mainly dependent on power from CTU/STU. The scenario may change once hydrogen storage is used to bridge deficit support power in cluster mode, providing the best feature of reliability and 24 into 7 cheapest power once hydrogen storage becomes commercially viable with technology advancement. Smart distribution system with hydrogen energy storage mix may provide the flexibility in local load growth and without much augmentation in existing infrastructure. What is the impact of clean energy on national economy and health sector? The hydrogen energy once promoted to have usage in vehicle, energy sector, industrial sector may provide New India with least health hazards. As an outcome of sustainable New India with energy security, the various expenditures on health and medicine will reduce to the minimum and also increase lifespan in general. Thus, country may get the benefits of the old age experts' experience for national planning and development in mission mode, and also as guide to younger generation for mentoring and skilling the relevant areas of expertise. The overall cost of energy will thus be reduced, and this will give boom to the industrial products with the lowest price and improved lifestyle. So this is the fuel cell technology. Further details, I'm leaving this one. This hydrogen energy storage. This is the energy security, and other details are given there. Thanks very much. So I have skipped some of the slides intentionally. Any question from audience, I will be able to reply, please. Any question from the audience, please? See, I have covered the very broad area. It's not only energy, it's power sector, hydrogen sector, fuel cell technology sector, power converters, HVDC transmission technology, flexibility system transmission technology, and covering entire energy sectors. So, if you have any query from your end, you may ask, please. And the only point I would like to mention, you are the future of India. So please look into what I had talked to you. Try to get expertise and depth insight into the technology upcoming. And I request the faculty to integrate such technology in their regular curriculum interaction with the students, which will provide the interest to them. And then they will be coming forward with new innovative ideas for the introduction of technology, understanding of technology, and at the end they will become the good engineer, right? Any question from any participants, students? If no question, thank you very much.
Sir, I have a question.
Yeah, please.
In which material we can transfer hydrogen energy from one point to another point?
Which
material?
see hydrogen is used hydride storage is having the materials because it's not one material. It's combination of the alloy, right? This alloy is primarily being used to structure the hydride based upon the application of the storage volume of the storage. So that will be the primarily upcoming, because our post we are having 1 kg or 2 kg, but it has to go higher and higher capacity. So depending upon that capacity, alloy might change and might be strengthened, right?
Do we have any further questions?
Yes, please, please. नहीं लड़कों को पूछने दीजिए, otherwise how they will be innovative and then initiated or ignited. Yes.
Sir, first of all, the question is we are using batteries today's life, but it is fully green. The battery is fully green or not?
Which one?
The battery, the materials required in battery is lithium ion. It is the extraction is fully green. Does the extraction of battery elements are fully green? It emits carbon.
See what is happening. Hydrogen is put in hydrogen storage.
No, sir. I'm talking about the we have the sustainable energy sources. I'm not talking about the sources. I am just talking about the in the process of using that. We are going through a process known as battery. We have to store that energy.
Okay.
And, that emits in the extraction of that battery elements, we require the carbon is emitted much more than
see, battery is primarily storage device.
Yes, sir.
Right? And battery is basically getting the DC, right?
Yes.
And it's converting through converters to the drive.
Yes, sir.
Right? So in this process, there is nothing carbon coming out.
No, sir. In that process, the batteries we are using, the extraction of material such as lithium ion.
So that is still big challenge we have
sir,
to resolve.
I'm talking about that.
See, that big challenge we have to start thinking as on date also. Because once the lithium ion battery is disposed,
yes, sir,
then its reprocessing is to be done, which is very careful process. And therefore, new research team is already working to how to this unused battery, means the thrown battery has to be reprocessed, recycled, such that it gives the minimum. Is still as under if the battery you are using UPS, you are using the chemicals there.
Yes,
that chemical is being poured in the ground. If you go back to any manufacturing area of the battery, you will find the groundwater is contaminated. So that is still big challenge for the environmental pollution, and we have to address it.
And the next question, as we are using EV vehicles nowadays, can we from the petroleum products we are just going to EV mode, and can we are going to, according to me, we are just going to a more destructive ways.
We are going to
a more destructive way. From the petroleum products we are shifting to EV vehicles, and the morely a EV vehicle generates near about 40,000 of kiloton of carbon in 12 to 15 years, whereas a new EV standing in near about in a showroom is produced near about 40,000 in without any use bill. If the electricity is coming from a thermal or something like
see, that's what I'm telling. Once we talk about large EV penetration, the government has already declared in Parliament that EV charging infrastructure has to come from clean energy. See, it requires huge charging power for the electric vehicles. So if we use again thermal power plants for charging, then purpose of carbon reduction is not going to be met.
It will be increased, no sir, that's my question.
It will be?
It will increase more, no sir.
No. What I'm putting, if you use clean energy like solar,
yes sir,
like wind, and that's what I put open access. Suppose you in Andhra Pradesh remote area, you get the clean energy of, let us say, 20,000 megawatts, right? If you have open access, you can transport 20,000 megawatt from the Andhra Pradesh remote area to the load centers where the EV charging point is, right? So that is clean power. Nothing is going to happen as carbon is concerned. So that's why I said green corridor. Green corridor will carry the remote end green power to the load centers where EV charging infrastructure is available. So we are not burning the coal for that charging infrastructure. You understand my point? So thermal power plants we are not going to use for such things. But thermal power plant will remain in the system because of intermittency, because of
For the emergency.
Emergency, no, not emergency. Suppose there is intermittency, sudden there is rain, there is cloud. So for that purpose, we need pumped hydro, gas-based turbines, thermal plants, hydropower plants, because you have to maintain the grid operation. Because your load has to be there, you have to manage the power. So power management system will synchronize with real-time control and switch over almost in real time to feed that load the respective amount of power which is now intermittent. Understand? So this will remain the green power as it is. But during that period, when there is intermittency, the power has to come, there is no option. But it is the minimal period where you can bear. But it will also be reducing once you go for the energy storage, pumped hydro, large pumped hydro, battery energy, large battery, NS battery of 1000 megawatt, 10, 10, 10, 10 you can complete and then.
Thank you, sir.
Any question from audience? Any question?
Thank you very much.
Well, I'm very much thankful to Dr. Rajendra Kumar Pandey for giving a brief description about effective power transmission, about the implementation of grid controller and high power transmission corridors, which are definitely required for the real-time power market. He also focused upon the challenge of intermittency, upon power injection pattern, which is modified and it might affect the grid operation. Again, the emerging green transportation by means of hydrogen energy production and fuel cell driven vehicles. The emerging of hydrogen driven generators. Then again, we discussed about the expected benefits of green hydrogen generation. Thank you so much, sir, for briefing us about these ideas. And definitely, I hope that you are able to clarify the doubts of our audience up to far and far extent. Thank you so much, sir. And now, I'd like to invite Dr. Kamalakant Mahapatra to felicitate Dr. Rajendra Kumar Pandey. Dear audience, give a big round of applause. Thank you so much, sirs. Thank you so much, sir, for spending your valuable time out of your busiest schedule among us and delivering brief ideas about effective power transmission. Thank you so much, Kamalakanta sir, for felicitating our keynote speaker. Thank you so much, sirs. Dear audience, very soon we are going to have the next session with Dr. Bibhudatta Sahu.
Audience, any mic? Another mic.
Dear audience, very soon we are going to have a discussion over cybersecurity to be delivered by Dr. Bibhudatta Sahu. All the audiences are requested to take up their seats. audience, I request you all to be calm. Very soon we are going to continue with our next keynote speaker. The session will be continued very soon. Good afternoon, Bibhudatta sir. Can you hear my voice?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Dear audience, please maintain calm. Please be calm. Already our keynote speaker has joined. We are going to start the session. Please be calm. I request all the audience to be calm. Well, moving forward, cybersecurity is a responsibility where the more systems we secure, the more secure we all are. Today among us is present Dr. Bibhudatta Nayak, who is presently the head of cybersecurity, Ericsson India Limited, New Delhi. Well, he completed his ME in Computer Science and Engineering from NIT Rourkela in the year 2001 and was the topper in his batch. He did his PhD in Wireless Security Policy and Optimization Techniques from IIT Mumbai in the year 2008, and his thesis was awarded as the best thesis. His field includes excellence in cybersecurity management, which includes vulnerability management, threat hunting, security monitoring, incident response, security awareness training, risk assessment, security product evaluation, and insider threat investigation. Well, he actively participated in FICCI, ASSOCHAM, COAI, GISFI, NASOCOM DSCI, IEEE, and many more. He worked in MNCs like ABB, Motorola, Huawei, Ericsson, and NPCI. Without any further delay, I'd like to request Dr. Bibhudatta Nayak to continue with the session. Sir, please.
Yeah, right. Thanks for the introduction. Am I audible?
Yes, sir,
Yes, sir.
you're audible.
Audible to the audience also?
Yes, sir, audible. You're audible, sir.
Okay. So let me first start with giving the idea why actually we are going for the cyber security. Cyber security is basically nowadays it's called the backbone of the digital transformation. The digital transformation that we are going it, and that needs to be protected. Any kind of transformation that is going to happen for the next decade that runs to our Atmanirbhar Bharat, which is our honorable Prime Minister is saying we have to go for the Atmanirbhar Bharat and we have to go for the startup. And when we go for the startup ecosystem, and maximum you will find out a lot of startup ecosystems are coming from the young people like you guys, third year, final year students. They are coming out with a lot of startup ecosystems. And these you guys are the future CEOs of the various startup ecosystem that is coming out. But how to save those startups that really makes sense if we do not implement a robust cyber security. And also we have the various kinds of technologies which are coming. Those technologies will play a very major role. For example, technology like 5G, which is coming into the various fields of India. and that will be implemented by whether it's a Reliance Jio, whether it's a Airtel, whether it's a Vodafone Idea. You see now 5G is taking a lot of attention, and we are going to implement those 5G, and we have to consider the cyber security aspect of it. So before starting to giving as I just want to thank Panigrahi sir, because I could not make it. I was supposed to go and present there. So I just want to say three words that what actually we have learned in our childhood. One is called as A, the other one is called as B, the third one is called as C. What actually ABC stands for? A means it is an advanced technology. We are dealing this is what I have been traveling to Europe, I have been traveling to US, I have been traveling to different parts of the world, and I am hearing what are actually they mean by ABC. ABC means advanced technologies, that includes your IoTs, that includes your various kinds of technologies which coming into new field. And B means it is a broadband, that is your mobile broadband, and mobile broadband that comprises of your 5G. And C means it consists of the field which is very, very important nowadays. It's called as cyber security. If you go to the whole world, you will find out they talks about IoT, they talks about cloud computing, they talk about cyber security. But what we talk in India, we have our unique definition in everywhere. When you talk about ABC, in India, we talk about astrology. Astrology means we wake up in the morning and see whether today our day will go good or not. That is what actually we just see by the newspaper or asking somebody. And B means we talk about, then we come to our office, we comes to our college, we comes to everywhere, our engineering college, or we comes to everywhere, and then we started talking Bollywood. So this is what actually we talk. And if there is further time, then C means we talk about cricket. So this is how actually in India we talk about ABC. But having said that, is that part is wrong? Absolutely not. Because we Indians talk the right thing. The reason being is that A means astrology. We need a technology which my astrologer will talk to me in an interactive manner. For example, today I wake up and now I am doing it could have been a very good if could have been gone to a interactive mode, and we could have talked to how actually the various kinds of discussion could have been happen. It is not happening because it's a one way communication. I am just communicating and you guys are digesting it. That is not the way of communication should be made in the modern world. We need to have a both way communication. So that's why whatever the astrology part we are talking, I must talk to my astrologer and understand. And what is B means Bollywood? That is what I have given the example. The reason being is that also we found out that we get a lot of content from when you talk about the Bollywood. C means the greatest startup developed in cricket is IPL. So we Indian talk the correct thing. That is what actually we experience. That is the IPL created a huge amount of money. IPL created a huge content. IPL created a huge brand. So that is where actually the content creation is coming into picture. And based on this, we people are finding out how actually we are using all these factors into account. The objective of giving this example is we have to understand that when we talk about ABC, even if the whole world is talking, India is uniquely positioned to its content. Whoever will drive the content for the next 2 to 3 years. They will be the king of the contents. So basically that gives the idea. So what actually happens if your content is not correct? For example, you have been given a system and the system has been not given a particular amount of adequate protection. I mean, many of you have been recently listening how actually the AIMS hacking, the AIMS server hacking has been done by some of the groups. So that is what you can find out, that because of that AIMS server, there are a lot of patients' data which has been encrypted by the hackers. So to do the decryption to those kind of data, they are asking huge amount of money. So that depends on how actually the cyber security is important for us. Because today you guys all goes to the various hospitals. You give your hospital records. They have stored in their database your blood sugar, your diabetics, your heart rate. So every information is stored in the hospital records. And if this hospital record is published in the dark web, then that will be a huge problematic. And even sometimes you find out these kind of information, what are the various kinds of information is given by, let's say, the people, those who are providing those kind of adequate implications, that may cause a huge amount of problematic in the future. So that's why cyber security plays a very important role. So what happened to the cyber security front? There are a lot of regulations which are coming into the cyber security front. So the basic, before going to the details of how actually the cyber security evolution is happening, I just want to know that if you could have been much interactive, if I could have been there, but still I just want to know who is the greatest hacker that has been awarded in recent times. It is Mr. Kevin, who has been, we called it as an ethical hacker. The companies has employed those kind of ethical hacking groups to hack, and then they are paying to them. So that gives the idea that how important is that the particular people, those who are employed in those kind of fields. And to operate a cryptographic or a system, you need a encryption algorithm, you need a decryption algorithm, you need a key exchange mechanism, you need how to do all sorts of operations during the cyber field. So let me give a very practical example so that you will understand how actually the cyber field has been designed. One is called, I will give both the examples. One is called as symmetric key cryptography. Symmetric key cryptography, that gives the idea that the sender and the receiver both kept the same key. Whenever they share the same key to each other, then they can open the required message. The moment they open the required message, then they will get the required information. For example, let's say I'm giving a very practical example. All of you, please understand, it is a very practical example, whatever I am giving. Recently, a gangster talked to a particular film actor. He told, "Is चिकना को उड़ा देना है." What does it mean? The secret they have shared, the word is called as chikna. So that means the secret which has been shared by both the parties, they have been encoded in some of the format. Then the law enforcement agencies, all the people, they were trying to decode, is it Mr. X, is it Mr. Y? Then they say, is it Mr. Govinda? Then they say, no, his picture is not now running well. Why they will target him? So there are a lot of permutation combination goes on to find out what is the shared secret shared between these two parties. The moment they will share the shared secret between two parties, you will find out that this wording has been give the importance how actually you can find out. For example, let's say you have a Yahoo mail and your friends have also Yahoo mail. So how can you share the secret information to your friend? Let me give you a very practical example. The shared information that you can share is that you need not have to send the mail, your secret information to your friend. What you have to do? You have to find out what is the way the other party should find out what the various kinds of things that will make you what the information you are sharing. To do this, what you have to do? You just share your username and password through phone. Then what he will do? He will log into your username and password. He will see the mailbox. You have not forwarded the mail. So there is no question of anybody can snoop your mail, read your mail, find the detail you have. This is how the terrorist organizations are acting. So that is where actually cyber security play a very important role. Whenever you are doing the various payment systems, I was working in RBI in UPI. I think most of you are might be using Bhim, Paytm. So all this wallet system where actually you are doing digital transactions. So when I was there, we are developing the security mechanism for universal payment interface systems. So how actually when you do the security implications, how you can probably use those kind of security implications, and based on this, you will find out the information can be transferred from one point to another point. And nowadays it is very important. Even if you go to any remote areas, even if you go to tier 2 cities, you have to find out that there are many digital transactions going on in the banking front. Whether it's going on in terms of UPI, whether it is going on Paytm, whether it is going on in terms of using your Vim or Phone Pay or Google Pay. So you are using a lot of payment methods. So therefore, it is very important for a small application that a third year or final year student should develop, and based on this, he can be a multi-million in overnight. So that is the opportunity which you guys have now, which is not the case when we are reading 20 years back. So you are in the golden age of digital transformation. So therefore, my request to all the students present here is to leverage this kind of advantages which is coming into them. Then I just want to tell how actually you will understand the asymmetric cryptographic system. We have a symmetric cyber security system. We have an asymmetric cyber security system. In the asymmetric cyber security system, you have to understand there is a sender, there is a receiver, then you send through a logical system, and there is a key management system. There is a person which is responsible who decode back the message, and then there is a person which is transmitting the message. Then you will find out there are people who are storing the keys, then they are retrieving the keys, and they are using these keys, they are doing the amount of digital transformation. So let me give a, when I say all these things, you people are might be thinking that it is a very complicated system to be designed. A very complicated system that is the industry is now working with it. Actually, it is not. Let me give a very practical example. The example that I am citing to you is, I think many of you have read mythology. Right? When you have maybe Jayanti, you can always respond me whether I don't know whether you guys are still listening me or not. My voice is still audible? Hello? Hello, I am audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I just want to give a, the example which is related to mythology, because I told you asymmetric cryptography system or the cyber security system which is designed in asymmetrically, which will be a very complex system. Let me give a example and correlate with our mythology system. In the mythology system, you guys have heard how the conversations happen with Lord Krishna and Arjun. When Lord Krishna had talked to the Arjun, और इसको ओ लॉर्ड कृष्ण हमेशा बोलते था कि अर्जुन ये तेरा भाई है, तू इसको क्यों मार रहा है? तो अर्जुन will take a arrow and kill that particular person. So that means, what does it mean? The meaning is that some of the messages which Lord Krishna is sending back to Arjun. So in this ecosystem, you will find out there is a person present is Mata Gandhari. So she used to be very worried. She used to tell that how Arjun is killing his son, because who is giving the information in that system? That is a hacker. A hacker is present in that ecosystem. Can anybody guess what is the hacker? If it could have been interactive session, it could have been good. The hacker is called as Narad. He get the information and he told, look, this is what actually the information is passed, and which is your son is killed by Arjun. But actually that is not the fact. Then you will find out there is other end also. In the other end, you will find out the person which is present is Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra is asking that how the information is sent by Lord Krishna and how it has been used by Arjun. So that's why Dhritarashtra asked the person which is the greatest cracker in the ancient world. In the mythology, if you see what the cracker means, we always say this is a hacker, this must be doing a lot of hacking. Hackers are not that powerful guys. The powerful guys are crackers like Sanjay. Sanjay is computationally very intensive, and he knows how to calculate the message that is going between Lord Krishna and Arjun. He decode back all the message and he told, look, this is what the message is sending by Krishna. By using this arrow, Arjun has to kill your particular arrow, using the particular arrow to kill your son. So that's why Dhritarashtra always says that कृष्णा तूने मेरा वंश को निपात कर दिया है, मैं तुझे छोड़ूंगा नहीं. I will give you some kind of sap so that you will find out that you will also face the same consequences. So that is where actually you will find out how the system works. So in the ecosystem, who are the message exchanges? The message exchanges is one is called as Arjun, the other one is Sri Krishna, and the third one, which is hacker, which is employed in the system, is called as Narad, and the greatest cracker who decode the information and send back to the various people, including Dhritarashtra, is Sanjay. So that's why to develop this kind of system, you have to develop a cyber security paradigm which has been inherited from our mythology. So that's a really, you guys have to understand how everything has been inherited from the and the most irony of the thing is that sometimes you will find that Dhritarashtra was so impatient. He used to tell that, can you please tell me what are the various kinds of messages exchanges between Lord Krishna and Arjun? What Sanjay has to do? Sanjay has to fetch the key from the cloud. And he has stored all the keys from the cloud. So that time the cloud concept was there. So even if we claim that the cloud has been designed in the modern system, Actually, this cloud system is already there. So that is where actually why we want to tell you basically is that whenever we deal with the 5G system, we have the operators, we have the ecosystem present in the system, and the key manually which has been stored in the operator premises. So that's where actually you have to find out where actually the various kinds of messages has been exchanged and where you have to store the messages and how you design the various kinds of cyber security system. So the cyber security system, when you design, you have to take in the second year, I will request you take the various kinds of protocols. These protocols, if we implement, and that protocols have 100 to 200 lines of code, you will be get employed by Infosys, you will be getting employed by TCS, you will be get employed by lot of organizations which are running the various security services. But if you want to go one step ahead, you want to design a particular cyber security system, you will be hired by Facebook, you will be hired by a company like Ericsson, Microsoft, Google. So these kind of advantages you have if you go for one step ahead and if you design the various kinds of security cryptographic system. To design the security cryptographic system, you have to design in the 7-layer model. One is called as you guys have learned what is called as OSI 7-layer model, but we call it as security 7-layer model because we operate in the top of the layer. Many of you have, whenever you are doing banking transactions, you can see you are writing HTTPS. What does HTTPS means? HTTPS means you are sending your information through secure socket layer. That means this security socket layer SSL protocol which is enabled the moment you write HTTPS, that gives all your banking transaction in a secure manner. And it enables in the back end, it does not enable a particular port like 80. It enables a special port called as 443. The moment it will enable a special port called 443, all the messages which has been transferred through these ports, you will find out there will be a secure transaction of message will happen. So that way you have to find out the message has been transferred in a secure tunnel. Similarly, when you design a particular security system, based on this you will find out how you design the security for the, let's say you want to go for a telecom system. In the telecom system, to design the security, you have using your smartphone. All of the people, those are using the smartphones. So there you have to use a applications. Any app you are designing, you have to add the security feature to it. The moment you will add 100 lines of code or 50 lines of code to design a security app system in your mobile phones, then you will be get hired by Apple. Please understand, the practical example whatever I am giving is the small projects you guys can take in third year and second year. So these are the industry related project you must take. The moment you take this industry related projects, you will find out that your value in the market will be much bigger than what actually you are reading in the textbook. You might be reading compiler design, you might be reading database design, that's fine. That is for your reading purposes. But if you want to go in the industry and explore how the various kinds of security mechanism and various kinds of digital transmission is happening, so based on this, you have to design those things. So some of the cyber security front, what the government of India has taken, you will find out we are coming out with a national cyber security policy very soon. And this national cyber security policy will devise how the cyber security will be used by the common users. So to use the common users for the cyber security mechanisms, we are using 5 million jobs is required for the next 10 years in cyber security. Can you imagine, guys? If you choose to your field as cyber security, you have been secured. Your package will start from 20 to 30 lakhs. So that way actually you will find out this gives a immense opportunity when actually the new generation people will come and they will design and they will develop the various cyber security products, cyber security applications, cyber security related practices, cyber security. Then you might be thinking, what are the courses that as a student, as a college, we must provide to in the cyber security field? Some of the courses I can recommend you guys can do it, which will be not cost more than 5,000 rupees. If you do those courses by yourself, or if your college will provide a batch wise some of the courses, then your future will be also very important. Course like CISSP, course like CISSP stand for Certified Information Security Professional. Another is ISO 27001 lead auditor, where actually you can have a very good experience if you do this. And you can have a certified ethical hacking course 2.0, which is also comes around 5 to 7,000. Then that gives a very good prospect of you can, I think by spending in whole year, this is not required. You can go for this kind of course for 1 month. Even these are the courses which has been provided from the like Saturday, Sunday. You can choose these options to upgrade your skills on that front. And also you can go for a secure application development, and based on this you can write a code and you can implement security part in the code development processes, and these will also takes a very important role in your stepwise. Whenever you go to, let's say, any kind of companies, those who are basically employees like people like you guys, then they will provide all these factors. So when I started my career, when I used to search in Google, or I used to search that what is security. That time it was saying your chest must be this much, your height must be this much. So I was not able to get any kind of a job during my time in the security. So, but nowadays, if you search in Google, you will find out plenty of jobs are available in cyber security market. So therefore, it is very imperative. The market is huge, the demand is huge, the supply is less. Let me repeat it again. The market is huge, the demand is huge, the supply is less. So what we really need? We need a youngster like you who can use this opportunity, grab this opportunity to join this field, and then you will find out there are a lot of scopes for you to climb into the ladder. I will give you an industry view. I have been working in let's say I have worked in Motorola. I am now currently working in Ericsson. I have seen people who have done some of the some of the software companies, and then their ladder, the way actually they are going into the top management is very, very difficult, because you have to succeed along with 1,000 people are there, and out of which you have to go to the next level. But if you join in cyber security, you have in a organization there will be maximum 10 or 15 people. So you can be at the top within 2-3 years if you have been exploring this kind of opportunity. So therefore, the young people, you have a plenty of opportunity to go those kind of aspects. So I have given the why actually the industry is basically demanding the cyber security professionals, and what is the current government's roadmap in cyber security. The moment the cyber security policy will be implemented, you will find out not only the private companies, all the public sector units, PSUs. Now, after AIMS server hacking happened in the last 10 days, the government is mandating all the public sectors to take care of the security aspects. In that way, you will find out there will be a huge opportunity for you can explore those kind of parts. And cyber security is like not an afterthought. It is a must for every company that you are going to work. In a way or out, you have to work on those kind of cyber security. So whether you are using encryption techniques, so whether you are using decryption technique, or any kind of techniques that you guys are using, or you can use reverse engineering, malware analysis, APT, advanced persistence threat. What is that new technique is called as nowadays? You might have seen in what is going on in the Russia-Ukraine war. There are a lot of hybrid warfare is going on. What is that hybrid warfare means? It is not the weapon they have been firing. It is the cyber warfare going on. So the accuracy, the all these things has been controlled by using the cyber equipments and the cyber things. So that way it will be very, very interesting paradigm shift is happening, and the cyber security professionals has been huge demand in the coming days. And I request whenever I go to any engineering college, I request the college should adopt one cyber security as their elective course. If they take cyber security as elective course, then definitely it will be a very, very useful for the students to go through this, and then they have a very good prospect on this. So hope I have a very good slide deck. I was supposed to present those slides giving the detail, but since I was not there, I could not show the slide. I thought I will share the industry perspective and what I actually you guys will get benefit. Once again, I will my apologies not making there because of my some of the personal issues. But we have still 10-15 minutes left. I love to take some of the questions, and I love to tell if you guys have any kind of concerns or any kind of thing that you want to work within the cyber security field. I have almost everywhere I have the connection. I can connect you guys with the center of excellence driven by the NASCOM, where actually they are driving the cyber security center of excellence. So all these things, there are a lot of things are coming. So they are actually, I can connect you guys. You can sign memorandum of understanding. You can collaborate with them, and then you can take up into the next level. And the personal level also, any student I am putting a request after passing final year, if you want to go for cyber security field, if I'm not getting job anywhere, please send your resume to me. I will definitely try my best. So any question for me?
Any question from student side?
You are free, ask anything, whatever strikes in your mind.
All of you maintain the decorum of the mega day. Any question? Yes.
I'm requesting the audience to kindly maintain the decorum.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, can I speak in Hindi?
Yeah, you can speak in Oriya also, no issue.
Sir, like virus, एंटीवायरस होता है, ऐसे साइबर सिक्योरिटी में क्या क्या करते हैं, जैसे कुछ आइडियाज दीजिए. जैसे वायरस के लिए एंटीवायरस देते हैं. आपने बोला ना सिमेट्रिक इकोसिस्टम में यह एक ईमेल थ्रो, जैसे कि एक वायरस मैंने पढ़ा था जो कि मैं भूल गया, तो कि ईमेल सिस्टम में एड्रेस बुक होता है ना, उसमें अटैच होके चारों ओर जाता है, वो अनवांटेड मैसेज स्प्रेड करता है. जैसे कि आप थोड़ा आइडिया दीजिए कि कैसे होता है चीज कि साइबर सिक्योरिटी में, जैसे कि एंटीवायरस होता है वायरस के लिए, ऐसा कुछ.
Yeah, I got your question. Even if you are not able to explain me properly, but I could understand what you want to say. आई मीन यू मीन मैं हिंदी में जवाब दे दूं सो दैट आपको इजी होगा समझने में.
यस सर.
हाँ, मैं हिंदी में बोलता हूँ. आपने स्पैम फिल्टर के बारे में बोल रहे हो. जो हमारा ईमेल आता है ना, उसको स्पैम फिल्टर लगा के कैसे हम लाइक एंटीवायरस जैसे हम अपना पीसी में इंस्टॉल करते हैं ना, तो बाकी सब चीज को एंटीवायरस इसको प्रोटेक्ट करता है. ऐसे ही हमारा ईमेल सिस्टम में हम बोलते हैं उसको स्पैम फिल्टर. जो स्पैम फिल्टर होता है वो आपने देखा होगा जीमेल ने. आपने कभी जीमेल प्राइवेसी पॉलिसी खोल के पढ़ा है? वो जीमेल प्राइवेसी पॉलिसी खोल के पढ़ने से आपको एक फीचर वहां पे मिलेगा. वो बोलता है कि ये स्पैम फिल्टर एनेबल करना है. आप जब वो स्पैम फिल्टर जैसे मैं किया हूँ मेरा ईमेल आईडी में, मेरा ईमेल आईडी में जब आप लोग ने ये पानीग्राही सर ने भेजा तो ये गूगल को अलाउ नहीं किया, क्योंकि मैंने ऐसा रूल सेट किया हूं और पॉलिसी फाइल डिजाइन किया हूं जहां पे भी कोई भी मुझे मेल भेजेगा तो वो इसको अलाउ नहीं करेगा. ओनली ऑथेंटिकेटेड सोर्स से वो अलाउ करेगा. वो ऑथेंटिकेटेड सोर्स कौन डिफाइन करेगा? वो ऑथेंटिकेशन सोर्स मैं डिफाइन करूंगा. मैं अगर बोलूंगा कि लेट्स से सर्वेश्वर इज ए नाइस गाय, so let allow him. Or I say Sunita, she is a very nice girl, let allow her. So then those kind of people will be allowed. Rest I will be sent to my spam box. So that way actually you will find out how actually you will design a spam filter. But उसका इंडस्ट्री में क्या एप्लीकेशन है? आपने बहुत बढ़िया क्वेश्चन पूछा. अगर कोई बंदा स्पैम फिल्टर डिजाइन किया, आपको मालूम है स्पैम फिल्टर याहू के लिए किसने डिजाइन किया था? इसे एक इंडिया ने डिजाइन किया था जिसका सैलरी आज की टाइम पे 100 करोड़ है, जो स्पैम फिल्टर याहू के लिए डिजाइन किया था. तो इसीलिए ये बहुत बड़ा अच्छा प्रॉब्लम आपने डिफाइन किया है. अगर आपको स्पैम फिल्टर डिजाइन करना है, स्पैम फिल्टर में आपको ये सब रूल्स है. इट्स नॉट ए रॉकेट साइंस. यू हैव टू राइट ए एक्सएमएल पॉलिसी फाइल्स. एक्सएमएल पॉलिसी लैंग्वेज में इसको डिजाइन करना है. तो उसमें यू विल फाइंड आउट ए ह्यूज पोटेंशियल. आपको बहुत बेनिफिट मिलेगा. सो ईमेल सिस्टम को प्रोटेक्शन करने के लिए आपको एक स्पैम फिल्टर लगाना पड़ेगा. वो स्पैम फिल्टर आइदर आप डाउनलोड करके वेबसाइट से भी इंटीग्रेट कर सकते हो, और आप खुद अगर कोडिंग में थोड़ा बहुत आइडिया है तो एक्सएमएल लैंग्वेज में आप इसको बना सकते हो.
Thank you, sir. Anyone?
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Sir, under cyber security, identity theft also comes.
Yeah.
So, sir, I wanted to know how can that be prevented? If you can share some ideas.
So this is also another very good question. So why I say very good question? Identity theft is prevented by using a mechanism called identity and access management. What we call as a today morning only, I have configured with one of the biggest operator in the region is a IAM. Identity and access management system is normally provided by IBM. It is provided by Accenture. If you guys are targeting for identity and access control mechanism, how to provide the identity and access management systems? So basically दो तरीके होते हैं इसको प्रिवेंट करने के लिए. एक ऐसा होता है कि आप एक बंदा का आइडेंटिटी अगर आपको, if you know them, you design a firewall mechanism, what we call as a access control list, ACL. ACL is called as a access control list. It is just a IP rule that need to be set up. How it will be write in the IP rule? It will be written the IP rule is if then else. That is what you are writing in C language. If this is, then allow this. If this is not the particular identity, then block this. So yeah, this is how actually you have to frame the identity and access management system. The moment you frame the identity and access management system, once you, there are two things. One is the moment you आपने identity पहचान लिया, उसके बाद उसको आपने एक्सेस देना है अपना सिस्टम में. सो इसीलिए द एक्सेस कंट्रोल लिस्ट आपको एक बनाना है, वो एक्सेस कंट्रोल लिस्ट को इंप्लीमेंट करना है. और जो कंपनीज इस एरिया में जो काम कर रहे हैं, कौन सा कंपनीज इनको ले रहे, IBM ले रहे हैं बहुत हाई प्राइस देके, एक्सेंचर लेता है उनको बहुत हाई प्राइस देके. सो आइडेंटिटी theft is called as a, like suppose you are, let's say Debu, my name is Debu. What happened? Somebody is not happy with me, he will use my identity and he will send the mails to others. So my email ID is publicly available in the website, because I have been attending into the lot of international conferences. So my email ID is available to them. So how you will know whether this identity is a correct or not? Whether it has come, let's say the mail goes to you, then how you will know? आपने इसको कैसे पहचानेंगे कि ये एक्चुअली देबू सर से आया है, क्या इसको कोई थेफ्ट करके अपने तरीके से इसको मुझे भेजा है? तो इसीलिए क्या होता है ना, एक हम लोग एक सॉफ्टवेयर बनाया है जिसको हम बोलते हैं पैकेट इंस्पेक्शन सिस्टम, जो अपने थर्ड ईयर में ये प्रोजेक्ट ले सकते हो. अगर पैकेट इंस्पेक्शन सिस्टम में वो हेडर पे जाके चेक करता है कि एक्चुअली वो पैकेट जो आता है वो हेडर पे वो करेक्ट IP एड्रेस से आता है कि नहीं. द मोमेंट इट विल चेक दैट वन, उसमें उनको पता चल जाता है कि ओके दिस गाय हैज द लेजिटिमेट यूजर्स. सो बेस्ड ऑन दिस दे विल फाइंड आउट कि ओके you can block this or you can allow this. So therefore the identities and access management system is essentially developed by IBM, Accenture, and it is worldwide used it, which is prevents the threat, which is currently is a very very lucrative area, I can say, if you guys want to pursue in the future.
Thank you, sir. One more question from our student.
Yeah, please.
Jain sir. Sir, my question is, after completing engineering, how to be a cyber security agent in any type of defense forces in India, or
Okay.
Or Indian Army or Indian Navy or Indian Air Force.
Mm-hmm. How you want to go there, Nick?
Yes, sir.
This is see. Let me be very honest. Our government officers, I deal with them in and out. They speak very less. They do a lot of work. As if they present, they will come into the meeting. They will say, "Ki, look, you are the from industry. You know so many things," and as if they do not know anything. But they know much better than us. So, but they speak less. The to go to, especially in the army and all these things, we have a dedicated. I do not want to. Maybe in the public forum, I should not speak out what actually Indian government is doing in there. But let me tell you, we have a cyber army, unlike China and the US. There is a world, the biggest cyber army is in China, and then next is US. So India is building the capability, the cyber army. So it is a huge opportunity. They are seeking to go there. So one of the website you continually monitor is called NCIIPC, National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, where the email ID is already there for any job openings and all these things. The moment you go to the NCIPC is works for all the whether it's a Ministry of Defense, whether it's a Indian Army, whether it's a Indian Navy. So all these things are there. If that does not works out, you please send me. I have through my private contacts, I will share your resume to them. But you know, Army, Navy, Air Force, they have their, they do not go by like recommendation. They go by pure, I mean, if you have the potential, then of course somebody can refer it. But if you have a potential, then you have the, they will definitely recruit you guys. So what is the requirement? Yes, there is a huge requirement for all these three divisions currently for the cyber front. So therefore, it is a very good chance for you. And what is I told you to go for the website is NCIIPC and NTIPRT. So this is the where actually you can get all the cyber related informations for whatever we are getting. And if you wants to get more detail, go to CERT-in called as the Certified Emergency Response Team of Government of India, where actually lot of security professionals are working and they are protecting our government organization, critical organizations. So CERT-in also gives lot of ideas where actually you can explore yourself. And also if you wants to does not go to directly through this, then please go to the NASCOM DSCI. NASCOM is working very closely with these government units, and they have a very good connection, and they are building the startups. You can go to any startup and they can through this you can enter to this because many of them are going through NASCOM DSCI procedure. Or if all this does not works, then please send me your resume. I will definitely do my best because I have a lot of friends, so I'll give you a reference there.
Thank you, sir, for giving the scope to our students. One more question from our student.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah.
To ask that you told that about the IoT security, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And how it is related, the cyber security and IoT security, sir.
Yes, I think this is a very, very emerging and important area that we are going to face in the next decades, where IoT security will be used. It will be very, very useful in the Orissa-like state, because Orissa, we have the mining areas. In the remote mining areas, it is very difficult to go there and to monitor how the system is working there. So you have to deploy sensor there. Similarly, I just want to say, let's say Gunupur is some kind of areas where how the, I don't want to take the name of the people, the movements happens, right? You can see in the television. So those movements, by using the how the commandos are capturing the information by putting the sensors, and based on this they can find out that the various kinds of information can be taken care. Similarly, Odisha is also a mining rich area, and Odisha is also, you will find out, prone to various kinds of cyclone, various kinds of floods. So you can deploy these IoT sensors to those areas. So by deploying all these sensors, you can get all the information. Another thing is the logistic area, where actually you will find out there are lot of vehicles going on, and how you can track these vehicles by using IoT sensors. If some of the IoT sensor somebody can hack and manipulate it, and they can misutilize, then it will be a huge damage to all these things. So therefore, it is very, very important to understand the IoT system. Then I will give you what is the problem in there. IoT system is a very small devices, small sensors. The problem is to write a code in a small device like encryption algorithm, authentication mechanism in small cells. It will become a very, very difficult. So therefore, what you have to do, you have to use some specialized encryption algorithm, authentication algorithm by using elliptic curve cryptography, which uses, let's say, small memory, small processing power. Then based on this, if you design this kind of things, then you will be hired by Apple. Believe me, Apple now wants people can write for this. You will be hired by Elon Musk. He's coming out his Tesla car using a lot of IoT devices. So those who are working in the, and you will be hired by GE. GE is coming with a lot of medical equipments, is deploying a lot of IoT devices. So there you will find out a lot of scopes which is available in the industry areas where you can get the advantage. So therefore, it is very imperative to say that IoT is connected to the 5G ecosystem. That what 5G will come, IoT is one of the part of the 5G ecosystem, and based on this, you will have a very greater prospect when you use IoT part.
Thank you, sir. Over to Asima ma'am.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yes, sir.
Before I conclude, I just want to tell one thing to all the people present there, which can I tell in Hindi?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
It is audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
मेरा पिताजी मुझे हमेशा यही बोलते थे, तो इसीलिए मैं आप लोग को वो शेयर करना चाहता हूँ. एक आदमी था जो नदी के किनारे पे उड़ीसा में नदी के किनारे पे मछली पकड़ रहा था. तो मछली पकड़ के क्या किया ना, सुबह उधर सो गया. तो उसमें एक फॉरेनर जाके मॉर्निंग में फॉरेनर जाके सर्वे कर रहा था. तो बोला अरे ये तो बहुत ये दिन में सो रहा है ये आदमी, ये कौन है यार, इसको उठाओ. तो फिर हमारा बंदे लोग ने उसको उठाया. तो जब उसको उठाया तो उसको पूछा आपने दिन में सोया है? बोला कि हाँ सर सोया हूँ. बोला रात में मैंने बहुत मछली पकड़ा और वो मछली को मैंने बेच दिया और सो गया. तो बोला वो मछली को बेच के क्या किया? बोला कि मैंने सर मछली बेच के पैसा लाया. बोला उस और मछली पकड़े तो और पैसा लाते? बोलते वो सर और पैसा लाके क्या करता? बोलता कि तुम एक बहुत अच्छा घर बनाता. तो बोला इतना बड़ा घर बना के फिर क्या करता? ना उसमें एयर कंडीशन लगाता. फिर बोलता इतना घर में अच्छा एयर कंडीशन लगा के क्या करता? ना तुम एक अच्छा बेड भी वहां पे डालता. तो बोल रहा ये तो अच्छा बेड पर क्या करता सर मैं? ना उधर सोता. तो बोला इतना कर मैं सोऊंगा, अभी तो सो रहा था. So did you guys get the message what I want to tell you? There are two ways. You can sleep. आप लोग सो जाना है तो ऐसा ही सो जाना है. Or if you want to sleep in the technology world, please use all the technology gadgets, your smartphone, your iPad, your Facebook, your WhatsApp, your email. You use all these things. So, and sleep in the technology world. This is the where actually you guys have born and brought up in the new age area. The more you sleep in the technology world, the more you will learn and the more you will explore, and your career will prosper and your institute will get the more recognition in the global arena. So thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir, for spending your valuable time out of your busy schedule among us. Though having some issues, still you delivered, you gave the briefs about cyber security to the audience in this forum. Thank you so much. And it was a brief discussion over cyber security importance using some practical examples, and particularly you related the elements of the cyber system with the characters of epic Mahabharat for clarification, and indeed all the doubts are being clarified from that example. We also discussed about the security 7-layer model, and you related that with our OSI 7-layer model, clarifying the doubts of the students upon spam filters, identity theft, then cyber army, and relating the cyber security with IoT security. Thank you so much, sir, for valuable information being provided by you. Indeed, it was a great clarification for our audience.
Thank you. See you
Now
guys.
I'd like to request Dr. Kamalakant Mahapatra, Dr. Bibhudatta Sahu, and Dr. Rajendra Kumar Pandey to felicitate Dr. Bibhudatta Nayak. Please, sir.
I just want to say I am here because of I don't know Bibhudatta Sahu sir is there. So today whatever I am speaking is because of him. He was the man who has inspired me. I am really honored. I was not knowing sir is there.
I hope next time this would be an offline mode forum. Dear audience, give a big round of applause.
I want to thank whole management of GIET University for their kind gesture and for their very, I say it was very, very difficult situation to accommodate, and they did a fantastic job for me. So definitely next time, whenever I will get a chance, I will definitely go to them and face to face meet them. And also I request all their management, whenever they need any industry help, they can touch base to me. I'll try my best, since my mentor Bibhu sir is there, so I cannot say no.
We really appreciate your help and support, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. See you guys. Bye bye.
Thank you for joining with us, sir.
Thank you. Take care.
Dear audience, now we will be having our lunch break. And again at 2:30 p.m. from 2:30 p.m. to 5:45 p.m. we are going to have our parallel sessions. IoT lab will be for track 1, DSP lab will be for track number 2, and VLSI lab will be for track number 3. Thank you all for your support.
Please sit down. Please sit down. First girls, please move to BSH. Boss is waiting for you. First girls. Boys, please sit down.